guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Timmy and I'm back with another video. I'm a licensed hun. A licensed hun. As you can see per title, today we'll be discussing how I got my driver's license after failing 5 attempts. I know guys, I know. And if you are here to judge me, the door is open. But yeah guys, basically to get into the video, where do we start? So let's go back to we're currently in 2024, 2023. 2023, I was very adamant on getting my driver's license. And I remember in July, one of my birthday gifts that I really wanted on my birthday wish list was driving school money or a voucher with one of the driving schools. So my oldest sister, not my oldest, but one of my older sisters paid for me Wilka. Shout out to you, girl. And my sis, shout out to my sis. Yeah, so she was like, girl, how much are the lessons? And I remember she paid a fee of about 3,000, and that was for 10 lessons, including a driver's test to natives, right? So we started practicing, but I was very inconsistent because I was in my era. Like, I was very busy. I would always travel. If I'm not traveling, I got sick. Like 2023 and my health, they were not in a collaboration. What happened? I started driving school and my learners was expiring. Yeah, so we were practicing and I felt some sort of pressure because my learners was expiring the next year in February. So I was like, okay, this is July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So I basically had 8 months to go. And I felt like that was enough time. But with my inconsistency, I was inconsistent with driving. And then sometimes I would get sick, so we couldn't like drive. And yeah, that really cost me money because yeah, I should have taken it seriously from the get-go. But nonetheless, I went for my first attempt to night test in December, and that was because my instructor felt like I was ready. So first and foremost, I already had my learners. The most important thing, guys, when you sign up for when you inquire about driving school, please make sure that you have a learners because it defeats the purpose, right? Get your learners. And mind you, my history with my learners, guys, I won't lie to you, I struggled maybe 4 times just to pass my learners, and I was failing with like stupid points, like the one time I remember I got 77, the other time I got 78, and I got so frustrated that I stopped going. And then one day I was just like, no man, I cannot let this defeat me. So eventually I studied and then I went to write and I passed. When I passed, that was now the learners that eventually ended up expiring. I'm sorry guys, I'm not the best storyteller, so if I keep going like this, bear with me. But yeah, so in December, at the beginning of December, I think, I'll attach like screenshots and videos for reference. At the beginning of December, so here's the thing, before I signed up for driving school, I already had like driving experience with automatic car. So my boyfriend would let me drive his car. You would also see videos of me. If you follow me religiously, you would see videos of me driving, but that would be automatic because I feel like automatic is easy to navigate because you are literally just controlling the car, making sure that you are in your lane, indicating and those things. So I was pretty comfortable with driving a car on the road, but I did not have any clue on how to drive manual, right? And there was a time when there was a driving school that reached out to me. They wanted us to collaborate. And I remember like the guy was a good instructor, but he was not teaching me to learn. It was just a thing of like, yeah, so you get comfortable with a car, if that makes sense. But I saw the difference when I joined Dallas from Collabo Drivers. Dallas is the best instructor, guys, and in this video you will hear me rave about Dallas the whole time because had it not been for him, I would not have gotten my license. So yeah, and then my sister paid for my lessons in July. We started. At first I was struggling, my car would switch off in the road, but not as much. I think it's like the first 2 attempts, I would say, yeah, I was like this. And then, so what Dallas does is he gets you used to the car and the road first. And then you guys progress, obviously, to parkings and other things. But yeah, we quickly progressed from the road to our parkings. We did 3.10, we did parallel, we did reverse, and what was that on? Is that all? Yeah. So Fast forward, mind you, I was a bit inconsistent because sometimes I would travel and then I would let too much time go in between, and then I'll be like, oh boss, let's resume again, you know, and it would feel like we're starting from scratch for me personally, you know. But then once I refreshed my memory, like I would be okay. Yeah. And then now we're approaching December already, and my learners is expiring in Feb. So in December, Dallas felt like, okay, I think you are ready to go and pass out. We went to Natus. I did not pass. I did not even make it out of reverse parking. I was so nervous. Like, I kid you not, I was so nervous. The first time I went to Natus, I was really nervous. My legs did not shake, but I was nervous. And I'm the type of person that when I'm nervous, I shiver. So I remember just driving into reverse, and I kept saying to myself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I think what made me more nervous was the instructor kept sending me back. I think that day, the instructor that tested me is the type, he wants the car like, it must be in the middle. It's not just a thing of solangneches, and like it must be in the middle. You mustn't be more to one side and more to the other. So he kept sending me back until my turns were literally like done. And in the yard, you can only like fail 3 times. So yeah, that was it for the first time. The second time, I also got stuck at reverse. Like, guys, reverse had me here. Oh, it had me in a chokehold. Your reverse parking. When I think about it, and you know what's so crazy? When we would practice reverse parking here in Hindu, I don't even need any guidance or whatever. But when we go to Natus, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they make the poles too small or what, but so I would never make it past reverse parking. I was so stuck there. I think the first 3 times I failed just because of reverse parking. So in total, I went to Natus 6 times and I passed on the 6th time. So I failed 5 times, right? The first 3 times, I failed. Yes. The first 3 times I failed because of reverse. I didn't even make it to the next stuff, you know. And then the 4th time, I passed reverse, and then I went to parallel parking. Parallel parking. And what happened was the instructor said, come out of the car, because I was the last person. So he says, park the car in the box. And then, I parked the car in the box. Then he says, come out for briefing. Now, what does the rules of the road say? So you need to acquaint yourself with the rules of the road also. You know the things you are studying for the learners? Those things are very important when you are going to pass out at Natus. Like, you must not forget them. You must know them. Your seatbelt, telling the instructor to put on his seatbelt, the arm being out, leaving the car unattended. That's what made me fail on the 4th time. So he says, come out of the car for briefing. I go out of the car. I put neutral, pull up my handbrake, and I go out of the car. And then he says, Nunyango, as I'm approaching him, I guess he can see that the car's engine is still running. He says, Nunyango, you cannot leave. He said, what does the book say about leaving the car, the engine running while the car is unattended? I said, is this the way I go home? And I felt so bad that day because like I was so confident. Like I really felt like, because reverse has been holding me back. And I kept telling Dallas, like, if I can just make it past reverse, I'll be fine. Like I'll make it out of the yard, because that was my weakness. I swear to God. So that day I cried. He gave me my paper. There was no room to even negotiate. He said, my dear, come and try again. Cool. So then that day I cried. Hi guys, I literally just came back home. Sorry, hold on. I just came back home from Uganda. And when I tell you that I don't even know how to feel. Yesterday I came back home crying. Today I don't have emotions. I don't know if it's shock. I don't know if it's disappointment. Not just when I catch you. Guys, I can't wait to get my license so I can testify, because what a wow. What I've been through, to get a driver's license. Yeah. And then we came back to Windhoek. Mind you, guys, all the times I ever went to pass, only went to Okanja. I've never been to any other natives. Yeah, since my first time until I got my license, I've only gone to Okanja. I've never been to any other natives. So that day he hands me my paper, we go back, and then the good thing is, though, Dallas, like, he's really, like, he's invested in you also passing, you know. So he sometimes talks to the instructors to say, please don't block here, we'll come back and try next week, for example. And that's why I really, really highly recommend collabo drivers. You know how they tell you come back after 14 days? Guys, after 14 days, my brain has already, like, it has deprogrammed. So with him, you guys can go back and practice and then say, okay, let's go and try again next week, for example, as opposed to waiting after 14 days. Like, so if you have the money, you can definitely go back. And that's what I kept doing. Like, when I really, like, kept pressing, started to not take a break. Like, after I would fail, I would just tell myself, you know what, let me go back and fix what I did wrong the last time. So we went back again, I think the following week. Guys, when I tell you July was for practicing, and the whole of August I've been fighting for my driver's license. And when I tell you guys I fought for this thing, I really did. So we went back the next week, I think, and jiggy home girl. Guys, that day was the worst day, because I passed reverse, I went through parallel, I did my 3.10, I did the hill, we went to the road. That was the first day I made it out of the road. So now we are on the 5th attempt. I only made it out of the yard on my 5th attempt. Guys, okay, so the first mistake I made was when we got out of the yard, I did not indicate. The second mistake I made, I did not tell the instructor to put on his seatbelt. But those are not like disqualification grounds. They just deduct points, right? So we continue driving. I get through the robots nicely, and then and the nice thing with collabo drivers is he shows you the route that the instructor is gonna take you through, so you kind of have an idea. But there are times where they can literally, like, instead of going left, they'll go right. So this instructor that day says turn right, and then we get into the street. Now I never drove in the street, but it's not an excuse even. We get in the street, jiggy, then he says on the next turn we are going left. Yes, we go left, and then in that street at the far end there's a 4-way stop. Now I got so confused, because when we're having a conversation in the yard with the others, I remember something about act as a 4-way. So when I got to the 4-way stop, instead of stopping, your girl yielded. The instructor said, "Madam, are you serious?" He said, "Are you serious?" Then he keeps quiet. Now I'm thinking, maybe he's just, I'm thinking, man, it's a small mistake. Small mistake. He went through a stop sign. So now after that, I'm making sure to make up. I'm driving nicely. I'm changing my gears. I'm, making sure that I'm not driving too low, but I'm also staying within speed limit. Hey, what? And then we didn't even go further. He just said, okay, 10 here, 10 here. We are going back to Natus. We drive back. On our way back, mind you guys, this was the first time I went out of the yard. So I don't know how much time you spend on the road. So I'm thinking, that was the only mistake I made. So maybe he will, my dear. When we got to Natus, he said, "Madam, I can see that you can drive, but you are a danger to yourself and to other people if you are stopping at some stops and ignoring some stops." That time he's already writing, my dear. You see here, it says, fail. I'm sorry, ne? He says, "I'm sorry, ne?" And I'm like, this man. So he says, go home, make peace with the stop sign, and then come back. It was so funny, but I was also so sad because I failed because of a stupid reason. But you know, sometimes I really believe that if something is not meant to happen that time, it's just not meant to happen, and there's a reason for it. So yeah, I took my paper, and my driving instructor was so disappointed, guys. Dallas and I have never came from Oganja and we are not talking to each other. I swear, it's not even like we agreed not to talk to each other. It was just that thing of I'm disappointed, he's disappointed, because he's just like, tell me, why would you go through a four-way stop? Like, do you not know what is a stop? Like, I'm like, at this point, both me and you want this for you, but you clearly don't want it for yourself, because what he didn't even scold me, but that's just how I felt, you know. So the whole time we drove back, my dear guys, just quiet. Me, I'm also quiet. I'm come there sleeping. But it's because I'm also mad at myself, like, why would you do that, you know? Thinking back, I'm like, why did I go through a four-way stop? What confusion, you know? But sometimes everything happens for a reason. So we went home. I came back to Windhoek. And you know what makes me even more sad, ne? I'm not sad today. I've taken accountability for my actions, but I failed today because of a very stupid reason. Like, if I think about it, I'm just like, tell me, I don't have words, I don't have nothing. I think my driving instructor is so sad. Not he's sad, I think he's disappointed in me today. Because I literally made it out of the yard. I went outside, and then I went to make a very stupid mistake outside that got me failed. But had it not been for that, I most probably would be a licensed hand right now. But hey, I told God that I believe in the right timing. I believe in his timing. So when the time is right, he will make it happen for me. I don't know how to feel. I think I feel bad, actually. Like, I feel bad, but also... And guys, when I tell you today was my fifth attempt, guys, every day is just me with matters. They don't even verify me anymore. They are just like, oh, the system recognizes me. Even the people know me by my name now. They know me by my name. The cashier knows me by my name. The security guard knows. Yo, shooketh. I am in dear disbelief of how emotionally and financially draining matters can be, because ain't no ways. It's fine, guys. Bye. Came back to Windhoek and we decided to go try again one more time. I was like, if I don't get it this time, I'm going to take a break, because my pockets were also just tired. Like, financially, because every time you go to Okanja, you need to pay, because you're using the person's car and their fuel. So obviously it just makes sense for you to compensate them for their time also being there, because they could be here in Windhoek attending to other clients. Cool. So we decided to go again. And that day, guys, I was so hopeful. Like, I kept praying through every step. I was just like, Lord, I remember I had affirmations. I would say the one of I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then I would also, like, my affirmations were like biblical. And then my friend had also sent me declarations. I'll find it and read it for you guys, but it's something in the lines of, I, Taimi Nunyango, have a sound mind. I have the ability to remember important information. And then I remember also my friend Andra had said a prayer for me. Like, she was just like, I must find favor in the eyes of the instructor. I must find favor in the eyes of the Lord. So when I was at Nathan's that day, I kept praying that prayer over and over and over. So it's really important that you have people in your journey that support you emotionally and spiritually. With me, I did not tell a lot of people. The only people that knew were my close friends, and my mom, my close friends, my boyfriend, and like 2 or 3 of my friends, I swear. And at some point, like the last day when I went, I didn't even tell anyone. Dennis did not know that I went to Nate's. Nobody knew, not even my mom. It was just me and my God. I said today, Lord, it's me and you know. And yeah, that day, Oh, guys, you know what? Let me go back. The fifth time, you know what made it even more sad? Ne? I was the only girl that made it out of the yard that day. And the guys, we were six. We were six, and I was the girl. So 5 guys, 1 girl. And the 5 guys were like, oh, at least you must get it today in honor of all the girls that went. Because like they all dropped, like they all failed at either parallel or 3.10. They were all saying, oh my dear. So it was only me, you know. So it made it even more sad. I'm just like, Lord, you brought me this far just for me to go through a four-way stop. And the whole time I was praying for no distractions. Hey. Yeah, wow. So again, now the last day, the sixth trial, we did reverse parking. He sent me back once, I think, on one side, because you do on the left and on the right. He sent me back once, and that was the only mistake I made in the yard. After that, I did both sides, I passed. Moved on to parallel, I passed. And then 3-point turn, I passed. We went to the hill, I passed. So I didn't lose a lot of points in the yard. Now it was time to go outside. It's guys, time to go outside. There is a girl in front of me. There's also this pressure of being the first person to go. Guys, being the first person to go is so nerve-wracking, because it's like you must set the tone for others. So this girl in front of me is her turn to go in the yard, né? Because he started with the small cars, because I did manual, yeah, and I was driving with a small car. So the girl in front of me goes first, and I was supposed to be second. This girl didn't even make it out of the yard. Like, she almost went into the wall. And I feel so bad for her, shame. Like, that's where her journey ended, because he was just like, hey, we are not safe. You are not a safe driver. So she didn't even make it out of the yard. He came back, jiggy, I'm next. So I told myself, I must not let that distract me. I must not let it make me nervous. We go, I tell him, sir, please put on your seatbelt. Before I even started the car, I said, sir, please put on your seatbelt. Put on the seatbelt. We drive out of the yard. I made sure to indicate changing my gears, making sure I'm not just driving in 20 or 30 the whole time. Adhering to the road signs, speed hump, you know, you cannot go over a speed hump with a speed of over 30, 40. It needs to at least be in gear 2. Yeah, so we go. He took me the route that my instructor showed me, and that day I passed. So yeah, we went back to Nators, and he was like, you know, practice makes perfect. Yeah, so continue driving, and you have passed. Guys, I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know if I should be like, the only thing I remember feeling was like, yo, finally, because I even started feeling bad for Dallas. Like, I started feeling bad for myself financially, and I also started feeling bad for Dallas. And it's not like there was someone funding this whole thing. My sister paid for the first sessions, yes, and from there it was literally on me. And I think this is one thing that I also really wanted to discuss in the video. People don't talk about the cost involved in driving school. You know, when I started driving school, I thought it's just, you know, I pay my 10 hours, I practice, jiggy, I go, and boom, I get my license. It's not always the case. Yes, some people get their license on the first trial. Well done for them. Must be nice to be God's favorite. But I remember when I started my journey, I told myself that I'm not going to set a thing for myself to say, I must get my license on the first try, or I must get my license on the second try. Because we plan, but God plans. We plan, but God also plans. So you just have to you just have to is that the right word? Humble yourself, I know. Guys, I didn't do it longer. Don't come for me, ne? So yeah, I didn't, like, when I started driving school, firstly, my attitude was not, oh, I must get my I kept telling myself that if I don't pass, I will keep going back. Like, that's the one thing I told myself. And people, you know, when they don't pass, they get so disappointed, and then they just sit back, you know. And that's what I didn't want to do, because when you sit back, you forget, first of all, and then you and your instructor are now starting from scratch again. And just, you know, I remember the gap between the first and second time when I failed. I took so long to go back because I just felt so dumb. Now, this is one thing or one place that will really make you feel dumb. Like, why can I not just get this small little thing, you know? It's just a paper, but I'm struggling so much to get it. yeah, so there's really a lot of cost involved. If I have to estimate how much I've spent realistically, I think we are looking at, so we're looking at 3,000, and then I think I had paid another 3,000 because I took so much time in between that I had to start over. In between, I was paying like 700 here and there, and then the 1.5s to go to Okanja that I've paid maybe like the first two times those were included in the package, I think, and then I had to pay 1.5. And the nice thing with Dallas is though, like, he's really kind. Like when he sees that we are going back too many times, he also obviously empathizes with you and your pocket. So he'll be like, okay, since you guys are free today, maybe you can just give me this, because like you've been paying me money and we are still not getting results. So it's not, he's not just, and I think that's what I love about him and his business. Dallas is not money centered. Like, he doesn't make it about the money. He really also wants you to get your value for your money's worth. So yeah, outside that, Dallas is really professional. He's professional, he's kind, he's polite, he's not rude at all. I cannot stand someone that's rude. I don't even know how to learn from someone that's rude. Like, he doesn't shout, because Mina, if you shout at me, my brain just does this. It locks, it just hacks, and then I can no longer hear what you are saying, you know. So that's one thing I really also appreciated about him. He extends so much grace. Even when you fail, he's just like, hey, it's just life. And guys, going back to the day where I told you guys we came back to Windhoek and he was not saying anything, I also didn't say anything. I think it was bothering him so much that later that day, mind you, we got in Windhoek around 5. Dallas texted me around 9 in the evening to say, I know you feel bad about today, but don't give up. We'll keep trying, my boss. Like, it is what it is, you know. Because look, if you think about it, there are people that have tried for the 10th time, 8th time, 12th time. Like, it's just what it is. I remember the one time I went, one of the girls, she was driving with another driving school. That was her 8th attempt and she still did not pass. And I remember her crying shame, and I just, like, I felt bad for her. And so when I would go, I'm just like, if someone went 8 times and they still didn't pass, who am I to complain about failing 2 or 3 times, you know? So yeah, in a nutshell, that was my driving experience. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed driving school, to be honest. Other than making time for it, I enjoyed every time I went for my session. I didn't dread it. I didn't feel like, oh, this again. I think also because Dallas is a people's person, you don't feel like, oh, this again, you know. It's actually quite exciting. Yeah. And also another thing someone said in my DMs when I posted about my driving license was that they are slow learner. And Dallas, I think because he has that gift, he knows how to deal with different kinds of people. I mean, he's been doing this for so long. So I really, really, really recommend. His Instagram handle is Collabo Drivers. So if you guys are looking for a driving instructor, I'll also put his Instagram handle in my description box and his number. Contact him, set your dates, communicate. If he's quiet, also reach out. Because with me, I would just go quiet and then he would be like, oh, my boss, you know. But because you are not the only client, obviously he can also forget you. So it's also up to you to say, hey boss, I know we're supposed to drive today, can we maybe drive tomorrow? Communication is really, really important in business, and I like that he values that, and I like people that value communication. What else? Yeah, so I'm a legal driver now. You guys will see me on the roads. We will see each other at the robots. And I really hope that this video encourages you to go and get your driver's license, guys. Doesn't matter how many times you fail. Just keep going back, and don't stop. I know the money part is really a strain, but if you have the money, just go back. If you fail, don't wait for too much time to go by. Just keep going back until you fix what it is you made a mistake. Your license card. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm honestly, what do I feel? I feel really extreme relief. Like, I'm so glad that I never have to go through this again, and now I can take my money and invest it in other things. But yeah, also another thing, guys, I was very adamant on getting my license. It's one of the things on on my, what are those things called, my vision board for this year. So I'm so proud of myself. It's graduation, my license. I've actually kind of ticked off most of the things on my vision board, and I'm so proud of myself. I won't lie to you guys. Like, I remember that day when I got my license, I was just like, yo, you know, my middle name is Penekonjo, and I really said, hey, Edina Ekodi, like, your name really has weight. So I really fought. I fought for this license, and no one, guys, if you see me every day posting about being a licensed hand, please allow me, because it was not easy. It was not easy, and nobody even said, oh, here's a $10 for you to pay driving school. Here's a what? Other than when my sister paid for me that one time, that was it. That was literally it. The rest was on me, and I think I didn't give you guys the estimate of the amount, but I think we are looking at close to 7 or 8 or 9,000, close to 10,000. I won't lie to you. If I put together those 1.5s, look, 3,000 plus 3,000, we already have 6,000. Then you add the 1.5s, né? Then you add the little 700 here, 700 here for topping up lessons. You must have a budget. Have a budget is all I'm saying. Have a budget. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope it inspires you to also go get your driver's license. Guys, if there's one thing I told myself, I will not let myself get old without knowing how to drive. No ways. I don't want to be those memes or those mothers that my son is now driving me, then he goes with my car, and then, oh, I'm stressed. And I told myself that it's easier to learn when you are younger than waiting to be in your 30s or your 40s and you don't have a driver's license. I know there are people that are there, and I'm not even judging you, but if you can, just go and do it. You can still do it. I see Dallas even training people older, you know, and not even just Dallas, other driving schools also. I see aunties, people that could be like, okay, not my mom is way older, but don't give up on yourself. Never. Perhaps the resources were not available, but should you find yourself having money, instead of going to buy a wig, go to driving school. You are investing in yourself. You guys remember, if you watch my previous video, I talked about improving yourself, not stopping to learn, investing in yourself, things like that. Driving school is an investment for yourself, because even just when it comes to work, you are prioritized over someone that doesn't have a driver's license. And it's just like, I love the convenience that comes with it. Like, you can literally just take a car and go, you know, like there's nothing of like there's a car at home and you can't drive. And also another conversation around whether to go for manual or automatic. To be honest, do what feels right to you. Do what fancies your heart. In all honesty, there is nothing in me that is ever going to buy a manual car, but I do want the flexibility to be able to drive both. I can already drive automatic, so I also want to learn how to drive manual, because we have a manual car at home. And then also, I love traveling. A lot of car rentals, especially buggies, are manual cars. Government cars, they are manual, most of them in government offices. So I just didn't want to limit myself. But if you feel like, hey, I have my Mazda Demio that is automatic at home, and I really just need to move from point A to point B, there's no need for me to go through all the gear changing and all of that, then just do what feels right to you. Don't listen to what people have to say. Oh, you are not really a driver if you cannot drive manual. Hey, my friend, I have a license. Nates has approved my driving. So what do you mean? You know, there are really people that tend to talk down on other people. Come on, you're not really a driver if you only have a C1. Not those C1, or not the, no. Is it, yeah, C1? People look down on the C1 license and the automatic license, and it's just not necessary. At the end of the day, you can drive from point A to point B, and that's all that matters. That's really all that matters. So just do what feels right to you. Do what you want. Yeah. And then also another thing is, don't be scared. I remember with me, like, I was just like, yo, will I ever find myself learning how to drive manual? Because what happened was, my nephew would teach me how to drive manual at home, my dad's car, and it would always switch off, you know. And I just felt like, yo, I can't do this. I'm not capable. I don't have it. Until I went to driving school, and I realized that it's actually not hard. And people have the perception that manual is hard, but it's not. You just need to change your gears. You need to, and I think it's actually way fun. Manual is more fun than driving automatic, to be honest, because automatic, you are just cruising. There's no gear changing. There's no what. Yeah, so yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this motivates you to go and write that learners. And while you are writing the learners, please save up money for you to go to driving school, because what you guys do is you go write the learners, and then you don't have money to go to driving school, and then the learners expires. Now you have to go back. Start the process when you are mentally ready. Also, that is very important. Start the process when you are mentally ready. Don't do it just because of pressure or because Tammy now got her license, you are also going. Make sure you are mentally ready for the journey, because it's, guys, I remember there was a day I came back home. I think it's that day when Dallas and I were not talking. I went to shower and I went to sleep, but I did not sleep because I wanted to sleep. It's stress, because why am I struggling to get one small paper? And guys, you know what made me even more sad, was every morning when I would show up at Natus, and like the lady that works at the counter and the cashier, like they would see me and they're like, oh, again, until even the one examiner, the men that would do our eye test, he would literally be like, Onyango, the system will recognize you, go to the test room. I'm like, is this me now? Is this my life? But yeah, guys, just always remember that when the time is right, God will make it happen. So it doesn't matter whether you fail 5 times, 6 times. Cry if you need to cry, but don't give up on yourself. Keep trying. Failure is not the end, and yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do have any questions, leave them for me in the comment section, or in the leave them. Let's engage in the comment section. If you have any questions or you have a testimonial, share your experience. What was your experience with getting your driver's license? Yeah. Also, guys, another thing I forgot to mention was I felt so pressured to get my driver's license, because last year there were 2 brands that wanted to work with me, and it was in the car industry. Like, one actually wanted to give me a car, the other was a car, both of them were car deal brands partnerships. And I was just like, tell me, you are your own downfall. Like, how can you miss this opportunity because of something you don't have? Go to driving school, So I really feel like that time I was not ready. I was just doing it because I wanted the partnership. But I realized that what is for you will wait for you. What is for you will not miss you, and we do not find you unprepared. Yeah. So with that said, I welcome car dealership partnerships. I'm speaking it into the universe. I have a license now, so tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah. Okay, guys, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Please don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to like it, because the algorithm favors me or recommends my videos to other people when you like the video. So please give this video a thumbs up. Please leave me a nice comment, congratulate me, or share your experience with driving school or with Nators. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Guys, so I just want to use this time to affirm anybody that is looking to getting into this journey, and anyone that is inspired by this video to go and get their driver's license. I will be reading a few affirmations that I've written down. I affirm that I'm a child of prophecy. My life is a fulfillment of the word of God. I'm stepping into new financial zones and territories that have not been unearthed before. I'm loyal in the kingdom, and God is my exceeding great reward. Great fortunes are delivered into my hands by the power of the Spirit. God has given me the ability to handle great finances, the wisdom to sanctify my gold in the kingdom. I'm God's workmanship, His billboard of prosperity to the nation of the world. The Lord loads me with benefits daily. I'm highly favored. I am blessed. I'm financially blessed. My word carries divine power to cause change and bring about positive transformation, healing, and prosperity. Out of the abundance of my heart, I speak forth light, strength, courage. This I dispel fear, weakness, and failure. I affirm that God has made me a wonder to the world. He has made me His operational headquarters. Therefore, I'm not ordinary. I'm a God-carrying vessel. I'm a convey of internal verities. I can do all things. Christ in me means glory, excellence, and victory in life. I'm yielded to God's guidance, counsel, promptings, and at all times. Daily, my spirit is open to receive from the Lord. I'm led continually into greener pastures of my spirit. My understanding is enlightened to function with precision and accuracy of the Spirit. I have the mind of Christ, therefore my mind is anointed to receive sanctified thoughts and ideas. In this month of prophecy, in all that I'm experiencing glory of the world, the power of promotion is activated in me. I'm making progress in every area of my life. Today, by my affirmations of faith and word of prophecy, I'm framing my world and causing the circumstances of my life to be in sync with God's perfect will for me. I'm strengthened through the ministry of the Spirit of life. God's glory and eternal purpose are revealed to me as I fellowship with the Spirit. I'm stirred on inside. I bring forth good things within me, for I have treasures in me with which to bless my world. The wisdom of God is at work in me, guiding me and showing me the way to go. I declare that I have a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I'm perspective, astute, smart, with an extraordinary amplitude of comprehension. I have an exceptional intellect marked by wit and intelligence. My mental acuity and cognitive ability are top-notch. I'm confident, bold, and courageous. I have an expansive understanding of brilliance of mind through the Holy Spirit. I have a mind that retains and recalls information effectively. I have a sharp memory and a firm capacity to remember important details, experiences, and knowledge. I am born of God. Guys, so upon starting my driving school, I really wanted to document this experience to take you guys with, but I realized it was actually going to be very difficult for me to film and focus on driving at the same time. So I really just tried to get snippets to take you guys along my journey. Here I was practicing for reverse parking. I think the most important thing is really your locking points. And once you sign up with Dallas, he'll obviously teach you all those things. He'll teach you how to maneuver should you, drive further away from your locking point. But yeah, I am going to give you guys a voiceover of my experience, basically in a nutshell. This was basically what we repeated or did every single time we went to Natus. So I didn't feel the need for me to take you guys with every single day. These videos are on different days. Hence, you will notice I'm wearing probably different outfits. So please forgive me for that. So as you can see, the most important thing is really, really practicing. This day I woke up really early. The time was 2 o'clock. It was 58 minutes past 2 in the morning. I was basically ready for Dallas to pick me up, for us to drive to Okanja. We left early morning because we needed to get there early, obviously. This is just us driving to Okanja. A lot of the times when we drive, we play worship music, which activates the Holy Spirit and just puts you in the Spirit and gives you that confidence to know that you got this and you do not go alone, but you walk with God. So at 7 o'clock, Natus opens up. Once they open, we basically get inside and we start with the whole process. our application forms, eye test. And yeah, immediately after the eye test, you guys proceed to the yard. So here we're getting our application forms. You fill in your details. Here we're getting briefing, and I was doing this video just to calm my nerves because I was nervous. I think this was my third or fourth time. This was the fourth time when I cried. Yeah, this is the day I was crying. And then you guys start, so the instructor will either decide if he's starting with the bigger cars, which is the trucks, or the smaller cars, depending on which ones are a lot. If the trucks are less, he'll start with the trucks. Yeah guys, I always wanted to take a picture here, but yeah. Good morning guys, I am in Okahanja for the 5th time I think, and I'm hoping that today I go home with my license. Wish me luck. Sorry guys, that was actually my 6th time. So here I was just nervous, but I was preparing to go on the road for the road test. And yeah, I was just doing all of this to like distract myself. Eventually ended up going to the road, and it's like my instructor knew because he took my phone and he was filming. This was me and the driving instructor or examiner in the car as he was showing me how he graded me and all of that. And honestly, coming back, I knew that I passed because I didn't make any mistakes in the road. Yeah, the ride was really smooth, so I knew that I passed. Here he was just writing my paper to say I passed, and giving me obviously the speech to say continue driving, practice makes perfect. And guys, like, I was so excited, I didn't even know how to react. It was just a thing of like, oh my gosh, finally, like, God did. Let me just yeah. Oh,
how did you do this like last time?
oh. Now let's do the intro. No.
Welcome, man. I knew you were gonna get it, man.
Hey, baby.
That's when that's gonna.
Oh. I have a license. A license done. I go. Hi guys, I just got my driving license with Collabo Drivers, the best driving school to be honest. They're so patient, very knowledgeable, very professional. Come and get your license guys. Don't let the year end. I wanted to tell you something. So, I got my license. I'm in Uganda. It was honestly short notice. With Dallas. In the morning, baby. What was I saying? Now I still wait for the men to take the other people. License card? No, he texted me last night, Kuta boss. We might have opening. And then I'm like, okay, let me know. And then he called me in the morning, Kuta, okay, let's go now. I wanted to do it, but then I was just like, I didn't want you to go say no, but then I told you to take it. Yeah. I just came back like now. I was trying to call my man, she's not answering. You are literally the second person.
That's good.
Will you let me drive your car? With my license? Okay.
100%.
I'll send you a picture once we come back.
Okay.
Sorry for not saying anything. Yeah. I just didn't want you to scold me. Take some time off.
Yeah. Nobody's good.
Because I personally felt like I can do it. It's just that one error that I made the last time.
But everything went sharp. I didn't tell you anything.
Actually, he was just like, when we came back, he's like, okay, as you know, practice makes perfect, but you have passed.
Oh, he knows you, then?
He actually said, you know, was where to park your car when I did reverse. But this girl, she's pushing.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And to take color.
Okay, what do you call lunch? I see you're eating.
I already know.
Okay.
Already know standard procedure.
Hola. Okay, baby. Bye. Sima. Ndandi kudengere ndi kulombwera good news. I passed my driving license. Chili. Meme. Thank you, Meme. Why was that more? Why was I in Grue? Meme. Yo tô tegeranga manga o nima omba pirai printing. Pene conjo. Kami vengan kumpul kasi na wenge. Taimi nikire. Onda nga meme imagine nda onda ndia como Monday last week natangwai andikaruka meti tatu natangwai andikarukichi maskwashinga ndamweni kitanyi ticha andikalikani kegalikana yanje ndisipora kuche andeni kuvengira shanta kuande. All right. Bye. Bye. Okay.
The angels bow down at the thought of you. The darkness gives way to the light for you. The price that you pay gives this life brand new. Hosanna forever, we were